Today, the UK Supreme Court delivered a historic and unexpected announcement. The order for a general election. For the first time in years, authority has shifted from Parliament to the courtroom, sparking questions, excitement, confusion and debate across the country. Why has the court taken this step? What does it mean for people in cities, towns and villages from Cornwall to the Scottish Highlands? And how did we reach a point where judges, not MPs, force the nation back to the ballot box? This documentary takes you right to the heart of the breaking story, exploring the moments, the decisions and the voices shaping Britain's future. Stay with us as we uncover the events that led to this powerful ruling and what it means for the days ahead. As it began early this morning, just after dawn, when journalists gathered outside the Supreme Court expecting routine legal updates. Instead, cameras caught something far greater. At precisely 8:45 a.m, the court delivered an historic judgment. The government must call a general election immediately. Within minutes, Westminster was thrown into shock. MPs rushed from meetings, advisers scrambled to draft statements, and reporters sprinted between briefing rooms trying to make sense of the moment. The mood was tense but charged with energy. This ruling was not simply a legal decision, it was a constitutional turning point. The statement read by the court was brief, firm and crystal clear. It explained that due to significant concerns over democratic representation, national stability and constitutional obligations, an election was now required. No delays, no extensions. The nation must return to the polls. Outside, the reaction from the public was mixed. Some celebrated, calling it a fresh start. Others worried about uncertainty and political chaos. Yet almost everyone agreed on one thing. This was a day that would be remembered for decades. As the news spread through workplaces, schools, cafes, buses and living rooms, the conversation shifted quickly. Who will lead the next government? Which parties are ready? And how will the country prepare for an election set in motion not by politicians but by judges? In the coming sections, we will explore the reasons behind the court's decision, the political fallout and the personal stories of people across the UK whose lives will be shaped by this sudden national shift. The question on everyone's mind after the shock announcement was simple. Why did the Supreme Court intervene at all? Normally, decisions about elections come from Parliament or the Prime Minister, but this time, the court explained that the situation had reached a constitutional breaking point. Over the last few months, political tensions in Westminster had been rising, laws were being delayed, budgets were stuck in debate, and several major policies had become frozen because parties could not agree on how to move forward. According to the court, this deadlock was stopping the government from functioning properly. When the political system stalls, the court argued, democracy itself begins to weaken. Behind closed doors, legal teams had been studying this issue for weeks. They reviewed cases, examined the constitution, and looked at how previous governments handled political crises. Their conclusion was serious. The public no longer had clear representation and the country needed a fresh mandate. The court said that only a general election could restore stability and trust. In their written ruling, the judges highlighted three major concerns. First, they said the government no longer had secure support in Parliament, meaning important decisions could not be made. Second, they pointed out that several communities across the UK felt unheard and unrepresented, creating a widening gap between the public and policymakers. Third, they warned that ongoing political arguments were affecting national services, including healthcare, transport and education. When vital services suffer, the court noted, citizens feel the consequences most. This intervention was rare, and many legal experts described it as one of the most significant constitutional moments of modern British history. Some praised the judges for taking action to protect democracy. Others argued that the court stepped too far into the world of politics. But regardless of opinion, one fact was undeniable. Britain was heading toward an election, whether it was ready or not. Across the country, people reacted in different ways. In London, commuters read the headlines on crowded trains, trying to make sense of what would happen next. In Manchester, cafe chatter turned into lively debate over who should lead the nation. In small towns and seaside villages, the story spread quickly through local shops and community centres. Some felt hopeful about change, others felt anxious about another period of uncertainty. Political parties moved quickly too. Leaders rushed to hold emergency meetings. Advisors drafted new plans overnight and campaign teams prepared to launch into action. Every party understood the same thing. The countdown to election day had already begun and the stakes had never been higher. As we continue this documentary, we will explore how political leaders responded, how the public is preparing for a sudden election, and what might happen in the weeks ahead.